So this is a movie you definitely don't want to do internet searches for. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Oh no, because that just comes up tits and ass and porn, porn,
Yeah.
porn, and more porn.
Just so you know, when the cops raid my internet search history, this is going to make me look terrible.
Don't worry, I'll delete all that.
Thank you.
Now it's garbage.
Just another movie night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. We are just another movie night, and I am Scott.
I'm Joe.
And today we're talking trash.
Talking trash.
Talking trash indeed. This is our show to review, spoil, debate, crap on, and give second chances to the hated, the lowest rated, the much debated, and often forgotten flicks on the internet, all while asking the question, is this the worst movie ever made? And if not, what is? Because here on the show we truly believe you can't review a film unless you know what the worst is. And that's why we're doing this. Sacrificing our souls on live for you. So you don't have to see these turds. And this whole month we've been doing movies starring rappers. Rappers turned action stars, movie stars, or at least trying. And so here today we are talking about a movie that's tagline is Prepare for the Next Level. I'm talking about 2005's Triple X State of the Union.
Call you the butler?
Toby Lee Shaver, DC Tech Division.
Yeah, Darius Stone, cell block A.
Not anymore. Darius Stone no longer exists.
Well, who the hell am I?
You're the new Triple X.
Sound like a porno star. What happened to the old Triple X?
He's dead. Triple X is a designation we give to deep cover agents with special skills.
Yeah, whatever.
It has a 4.5 on IMDb from 74,000 reviewers and a 37 on Metacritic.
Boy.
It has a $113 million budget and it grossed only 71.
Well, that's kind of high, actually.
What, the 71 gross?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think, but that's worldwide.
Oh.
Yeah, no, when you go, you expect that kind of number from only America.
Yeah.
They say that you don't make a hit unless you double your budget.
True.
It was directed by Lee Tamahori. I mean that's as good as I can guess on how to pronounce this. He directed this after sequels like Along Came a Spider, which is the Morgan Freeman movie where he plays Alex Cross. And also James Bond, Die Another Day.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they said, you know what? Good fit. It is written by Rich Wilkes. And he wrote the movie Airheads with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, okay.
And The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie on Netflix.
Ooh, we like that.
Yes. And he wrote and directed the movie Glory Days, which I actually really enjoy with Ben Affleck and French Stewart and Alyssa Milano. And,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I actually kind of like that movie. I know
Oh,
it's a
been
weird,
a long
weird
time.
movie.
I think I've seen that once, maybe.
We used to watch it a bunch, me and my friends. Is also co-written by Simon Kingberg. He's a successful producer of the X-Men movies, Deadpool, Wolverine movies. He just executive produced Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh, wow.
So he's doing pretty good for himself.
Yeah.
He's also the creator and writer of the Star Wars animated series Rebels, which a lot of people like. And he is the writer, director, and producer of X-Men Dark Phoenix, aka the worst one.
Oh, man.
This is a sequel to 2002's Vin Diesel film Triple X. That film had a budget of $70 million, and it grossed $277 million.
That's worldwide.
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yes, pretty good. That movie had a 5.8 on IMDb with a 48 Metacritic.
Wow.
This movie stars Ice Cube as Darius Stone,
Okay, let's see what $500,000 buys.
Samuel Jackson as Agent Eugene Gibbons, Willem Dafoe as General George Deckert. At least that's what we think. Scott Speedman as Agent Kyle Christopher Steele. He was in Underworld and The Strangers. Michael Roof as Agent Toby Shavers. He was in Black Hawk Down and the Dukes of Hazzard movie. Exhibit as Zeke. Sonny Mabry as Charlie. She is known for The New Guy, Snakes on a Plane, and the Nookie music video from Limp Bizkit.
Oh, so crap.
Peter Strauss as President James Sanford.
I don't know if we know him, but his line delivery in this movie was just terrible.
He is in a weird mix of weird one-episode TV shows and some voice acting, like in The Secret of Nim. That's about it.
Yes. And then some.
Yeah.
Nona Gay as Lola. She was in the Matrix sequels.
I don't remember her in that, but
Yeah, I mean, I blanked those movies out, to be honest
the sequels
with you.
I blanked out.
Yeah. So this movie happened after Vin Diesel and original director, I think it's Rob Cohen, they both walked away saying the script was terrible, even though they had signed on for a 2-picture deal. So in preparation for doing this crappy movie, we actually watched 2 movies and a little short that's a prequel to this movie. So we actually have done way too much investigating into this film series. Because first off, Joe, I don't even think he knew this existed. She actually thought we had seen the original movie and we have never seen it. So we watched these 2 movies back to back. And then I love this. During the second one, you said, there's not another one. And I said, yeah, there's another one.
And after you said, yeah, there's another one, I remember we specifically had this conversation the other day where you told me that Vin Diesel does come back for the third one, which makes no sense for this plot. I can tell you that much.
So, I mean, this is a really, really weird movie. And by the way, Rob Cohen, this is something we have to talk about, because that's why I wanted to watch both movies and kind of discuss it, because we did an entire previous episode where I just ranted about Vin Diesel for an entire episode of Talking Trash, where I just did the Chronicles of Vin Diesel. Because Vin Diesel himself is he's kind of a problem in action movies. I don't know where he got so full of himself where he thought, I'm going to do a movie, then I'm going to walk away from the sequel constantly. So him and Rob Cohen actually did this once before. They actually did this on Fast and the Furious. They didn't return for the sequel.
That's right.
They both walked away from the sequel. He's the original director of the sequel, of
No
the
way.
original Fast and the Furious as well. They walked away from it saying they didn't like the script. I think it really does come down to ego. I think they were like, oh, then they're going to want me back.
Yes, and then, I'm telling you that he's a smart guy. I mean, he might be a douche, but he's a smart guy, because he probably has gotten majorly like a big payday because he's a holdout,
Well, I think what was lucky for him was that it did work out in his favor in the Fast and the Furious franchise, where they were like, please come back. So he made a cameo in the second one's ending. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know why he made that cameo. It's very bizarre. Here he decided not even to make a cameo. So they actually kill him off in a short 4-minute prequel that we watched, where he walks into a building and explodes.
Yeah, but it's clearly not him. It's
his stunt double. And you actually see the back of his neck tattoo, the entire flap of skin fly out the window.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
But I will say that I knew from second one that was not the back of Vin Diesel's head. And the reason I know that was not the back of his head is because I have literally looked at the back of his head for 1,700 hours of Fast and the Furious movies.
Oh, that's true.
And I know what his head looks like.
1,700 hours.
That's what it feels like.
Okay.
That I'll never get back.
Okay.
That I'll never get back. So, yeah, I know what his head looks like. And I even said to you, that is not Vin Diesel at all. No, he had some lumps.
Well, to be fair, his head hasn't grown. You know what I mean? The hot air hasn't filled his head. That is come to the point now where he's so in love with himself and doing movies and thinking that he's the best.
It's kind of crazy how he has this ego.
It's wild.
Like, where did you get this ego?
It's wild that it's so inflated.
Yeah.
And just seeing that he did this first movie, which By the way, let's just talk about the first movie real quick and just say we watched this film and we laughed the whole movie because it is a real shitty film, the first movie.
It is, yeah.
Right? I mean, I actually said, I mean, the stunts, and I complain about the Fast and the Furious franchise having a bunch of the movies got more progressively insane with their stunts and their act. It's like they started becoming superheroes instead of action stars.
It's magical.
This is a $2,000 $2,000. This is a 2000s problem with action films. I've been complaining about this for a while. Action films in the 2000s have gotten away from themselves. Even the Marvel movies at least try to justify their craziness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they go, oh, this guy's got a suit and he can do crazy things. Oh, this guy's got a superhero, like a serum in his body, so it makes him like stronger and jump better. And this other person's like rage fueled. And then the Fast and Furious are like, no, they're humans. and the same thing goes with Triple X, which I cannot believe that Triple X, I'm not really sure when it happened, but you can see that he's trying to be a different character than he was in the Fast and the Furious.
Yes, but it still comes off as the same person because everything he does in Triple X is literally so absurd. Just like in Fast and the Furious. I mean, just like he's a magical superhero. It's just crazy.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. He is trying to be something different because he's trying to be like this, like, badass with like no sensitivity. Like, you have to break down my walls. And as those movies went on, he was like, family.
Yeah.
But in Triple X, he's like, no, I'm a badass. I can do anything.
He
like,
literally can.
And
too.
he's like, I'm into myself, and I'm kind of like comical in that way.
Yep, he can kick ass. He can fly motorcycles across the earth.
Yes.
He can survive flames. He can just burn up and just, come out on the other side clean, like Andy Dufresne, Shawshank Redemption. But like, I really just feel like, okay, Vin, you need to just check yourself now because this is it. I'm officially sick of you.
You just entered the Xander zone.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? Everything we said about who hasn't shown up in the Fast and the Furious franchise, now I know it's because they showed up in these movies. And that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Samuel L. Jackson shows up in everything.
Samuel L. Jackson is in it, and this one has another like semi weird star, and a couple actually. And I'm like, okay, so they're going to add people in this series. This is going to be his second Fast and the Furious franchise. So in that movie, we came out going, this is bad. What did you think? What did you give that movie out of 10 after watching it? Do you know what you would give it?
I think I gave it a 4.
Yeah, I think I did too. I almost gave it a 3. It was a very, it's structured bad. The character's not that great. And the absurdity of the stunts brought me out of it constantly. So how in the sequel do you step up?
Oh, God.
You step up, and they said, we wanted to get somebody who, because, he dropped out. So we have to find who is another action star. Who's like a guy who's larger than life? Ice Cube.
Yes, we needed, they have to check off their criteria. So the criteria is we need to have a guy with a chip on his shoulder. That's number 1.
Yes.
A very poor attitude.
Well, let's face facts. So the opening of this movie, the concept of this movie is that it's not the CIA. It's some kind of, it's one of the organizations we have. And they have a secret organization that looks like it's on the Enterprise, but it's under a farm in Virginia.
Yeah.
And they're attacked by what I can only say is Vigilante from Peacemaker. It's like a bunch of cartoon villains in these weird suits.
They look like they came from outer space with their technology. It's like they're using alien technology.
Honestly, they're
ridiculous.
using alien technology that they never use again, by the way. It's the coolest tech. This movie opens way cooler than it needs to be.
I know. I was actually invested in the first 30 seconds. I was like, well, this is kind of neat.
The first 30 seconds is very necessary to point out. Yeah. They slap down these devices on the dirt that burrow complete holes that you can jump through all the way into the earth into a base that's underground.
That allows them to enter the
Yeah.
base. So can I just ask you something? If the world has this technology, why are these poor guys in New York City drilling holes with a jackhammer when they have those devices that would make life really easy on them? I mean,
Yeah.
fuck you guys.
They
Give
even
these
have,
poor construction workers some technology, fuckers.
what year is this again? 2005. They have drones that are the size of your hand that have they have no propellers. They just throw them down, and they're basically like the batteries not included robots.
Oh my god, I was thinking that the whole time.
And just, I love that there's a shot of Samuel Jackson looks at it like, what the hell is this asshole? And just hits it with his shotgun.
Yeah.
That made me laugh. I'm like, so they have this tech that is just killer. You're right, though. I mean, why don't they?
It's
But
ridiculous.
then
Like,
again,
share your shit with the world because these poor guys are sweating their balls off.
yeah,
out
look at
there.
Tony Stark. I mean, like,
I
yeah, we
mean,
can do that for any
I
franchise,
know,
but
yeah, Tony Stark, fuck you.
yeah,
You know, come on, how about
you built
the
Ultron for us.
how about the blue collar guys? You know, just
Give me a
saying.
mech suit.
You know, I want a mech
I like he's real, by the way. I like how we're saying this.
like right here,
Yeah.
Tony Stark,
Get
right
it,
here.
get right here. I got your damage control. So, they're doing this so because they're attacking this organization. We don't really know why. These guys look insane. It's
They
crazy.
look like space aliens. They do.
They're like ninja. They're like the Foot Clan meets Vigilante from
Oh my God.
Peacemaker.
Yeah.
It's insane.
They do.
They go in and they take out every single agent. By the way, every agent who works for this agency that is so secret and so badass, they get killed in the dumbest ways. They just run out into bullets.
They do.
Constantly standing there. And of course, the only person who can kill anybody is Samuel Jackson.
Of course.
But he lets every one of his people be murdered in front of him. Even scientists who are just wiping the computers clean, he just lets them die.
I know, but you know what though? I will say, how he's only one man. He was surrounded. He was surrounded.
Yeah,
there
but
was nowhere for him to go.
Not once. Well, he gets out because he gets into a hamster, like one of those bank shootout things.
Yeah,
You know
it
what
does
that-
look like one of those bank teller.
Yeah.
Tubes.
Shoots him up a floor like an elevator. And he doesn't tell anybody to get in the tubes.
No, he does. I told you that. He does say evacuate immediately, and everyone just gets killed. They're
Everybody
running and screaming, and they just get killed. He does say evacuate.
Okay.
I heard him say that.
I mean, even if he said it, nobody took it seriously because half of them grab machine guns and just run out and get killed. Other people just keep doing their work and he just leaves. And when he goes to the next level in the little chute tube, he gets up there and he's right in front of the guy from the first one, who is the Q of the bunch.
Yeah.
He is like the James Bond's Q. He is
Remember his name.
Toby.
They keep calling him College Boy.
Oh, we'll get into that.
yeah.
Toby, who is the agent who makes all of the gadgets for everybody, and he has the best car you can imagine, ready for Samuel Jackson, which shoots rockets. They escape, and on the way, when they're escaping from the bad guys, they say we need the next triple X because they tell us in while they're being attacked that Xander Cage, who is the hero of the first one, played by Vin Diesel, he's been murdered. He was assassinated. So they need the next triple X.
Yeah, so that's when I looked over at you and I'm like, huh?
And Samuel Jackson, which made me laugh really hard, Samuel Jackson says, we need somebody with attitude.
Triple X has got to be more dangerous, deadlier, more attitude.
And nobody has more attitude
Yeah.
than Ice Cube.
I was like, okay, so here we go. We're getting NWA's Ice Cube. Cut to him in jail. And, okay, so Ice Cube is a weird pick for me because he smirks his way through this movie.
He does. You know what's funny? It's like in every movie that he's ever been in, he's always got a chip on his shoulder. Like I don't think
Yeah.
he's ever been in like a romantic comedy or a horror movie. Has he been in a horror movie?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean,
don't
he's
know.
only done the like I got a chip on my shoulder type kind of roles. Which it works for him because he's a cool guy and like you want to see him like tough and like, you know, I'm not going to take your bullshit. type thing. But sometimes I think it's a bit much.
Yeah. I think he's on this list of actors like Vin Diesel, or, there's some other ones we can name on this list. There's a list of people who are, their acting chops are basically playing themselves.
Yeah.
And that's all I can see him doing. He seems like a likable guy, but he also seems like he does, that whole attitude where I'm not going to take anybody's crap. He actually was filming Are We There Yet? The comedy Are We There Yet? While he got the call to be in this movie. So on set, he constantly just went and worked out. And I will say he is in good shape in this movie. He looks fit. And what's really cool is I'm going to read this quote from him. He said, I tried to do as much as they would let me do. I tried to get my hands dirty. I think when you sign up to do a movie like this, you got to be ready to get your hands dirty, and it paid off. It shows. So he actually tried to do all the stunts that he could, or at least what they allowed to him. He didn't want to play around. He said, if I'm going to be an action movie star, I want to make sure people know that I'm doing it. So he worked his ass off to try to do it, which is great.
That is good on him, yes, but the stunts in this movie are crazy. I mean, I know it's not him doing all this crazy stuff.
Well,
but gee whiz.
yeah.
I mean, he definitely would have gotten seriously injured if he did all these things.
Oh, I mean, well, first off, the movie leaves reality very quickly.
Oh,
I mean, we have this
yeah.
opening where I think we're on board, because I think the movie's opening sets up this tone where here we are in, maybe more of a comic book feel, where it's like these super villain guys are breaking in and they need to do it. So it's like James Bond and superhero stuff. Okay, cool. I think I have this tone. But then the movie slowly gets away from that tone and wants to play this line toe the line of being a serious action film. Like more of kind of like this is going to be taken more serious. I want this to be an action film that you agree with or believe in. And then it also is so wacky that you feel completely at odds with yourself. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yes,
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying, because there's a serious plot here where it affects the president of the United States.
It's heavy.
It's a heavy plot.
Yeah.
But then it also borderlines on that comical, cartoony, over the top shit. You don't know what part you're supposed to be in, because it totally shifts every 2 seconds.
It does.
It's hard. It's a hard thing to watch.
It is, because I think the moment we meet Ice Cube is their pick. Samuel Jackson, now he's on the run for some reason. Now, if villains attacked his base, his first logical thought would have to be, we're being invaded from some villain that we were fighting, some bad guy, some rogue agent or whatever. But he is on the run in the sense of he kind of knows it was a setup, but we don't really understand why. And he actually is able to pretend that he is a lawyer in prison and go see Ice Cube. And you can see that they had a bad history together. And don't know really what's going on, but they're mentioning that Ice Cube was locked up when he was doing some kind of covert ops for America and got caught. And they, of course, disavowed him or whatever, so he went to jail for it.
Yeah.
It's
he was tried for treason or something like that.
Not treason.
Not
I
treason,
don't know.
But
something that he was a part of, they turned on him. So he definitely was in. He was not a Marine, but a Navy SEAL. It's very, very unclear of when he was able to, I don't know how to say this, meet up with car stealing people and all that. I guess when he got out of the Navy SEALs, he somehow went to a life of crime.
Or maybe the life of crime was before, because they did do a little backstory on him, a 2-second little blurb, and they said that before he lost his mom at an early age, and he turned to this the street and participated in petty crimes and things until he got his life on track and went to the Navy SEALs. I mean, that's what Scott Speedman was in that room and they were talking about who he was.
Okay.
But they made mention, they had a point to show his NWA pictures.
That made me laugh. At the pictures they have on the screen of him in jail or whatever, it's just NWA photos.
Yeah, like you can see they just cropped out Eazy-E.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's like, okay, well, all right.
And this is the plot, and it's so weird because he can tell that he has hostile feelings towards Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah.
And he's still, when Samuel Jackson's telling him, "Oh, we're virtually going to break you out," he tells him a code, which virtually means when you go to you get walked out to do, whatever the hell, to exercise. Mm-hmm. You'll look at this certain time to break out or whatever. He gives him like a code, and he's on board.
Totally.
Now, you think that he would be like, "No, screw you guys. I don't want to be a part of any of this stuff because I don't like you, and I'm already in here because of you."
Yeah, 20 years, and he's already served 8 years?
I think 9.
Or 9 years. So he already served 9 years he's been in there.
Yeah, which is wild. Because he goes along with it. Now, this is where the movie, okay, we're still on board. I think we're at this point, I think I can speak for you as well. Mm-hmm. We're on board.
Yes.
Because he does break out. There's an entire breakout. I guess the code word had something to do with up high. And so he knows that means the roof. So he gets to the roof, and we're like, okay, well, I'm on board. This is fun.
Yeah, well, we know he wasn't doing those stunts.
I mean,
parkour stuff.
Oh, there's some crazy stuff.
I mean, there's no way if he
some
fell,
of it looked good. I was watching him very closely. I was like, okay, it looks pretty good.
I was too, but I was like, there's no way that's him, because if he fell, he would have broke his neck on it.
Well,
we could not take that risk.
Yeah. But there is one specific jump where I think it jumps the shark instantly and makes you go, oh boy.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
a
only
little
like
scared
10
now.
minutes into the movie.
Yeah, 10 minutes into the movie where he jumps off the roof while fighting cops. He gets to another roof. The cops are fighting him up there, and he jumps off the roof in a way that there is no way to survive this jump. And it turns out that the reason he jumped was there was a helicopter coming, and he was the leg of the helicopter for him to grab. Now, it's at least 50 feet away.
I mean,
and
yeah.
also, I mean, and maybe that's not enough, but it's so far away that, first off, no one hears the helicopter. You don't hear a helicopter coming while during the fight. You don't hear anything, but there they are, perfect timing, and it looks like he's jumping and he would be falling, but all of a sudden he's falling upward. And he grabs on, and I was like, all right, movie.
Well, what's more impressive than that is the fact that there's no guards stationed on that side of the building.
That's true, too. And I love one of the lines is, like, there's a guy who has a sniper on him perfectly. But, of course, the other cop stops him and goes, there's nowhere for him to go. Why shoot him?
250 yards.
Where's he gonna go? He's nowhere near the wall.
And I'm like, because he's escaping.
Like, you could have at least taken ankle out and, make him fall.
Yeah, make him fall. Oh, wow, what a nice cop.
Worst. They're like, just let him go. He just wants to get like a hamburger. Just let him go.
Which is actually what happens, because he gets on the helicopter and he meets Toby and Samuel Jackson, they fly in the helicopter. And this is where the tone of the movie starts with what I would just say racism.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, everybody in this movie is racist.
Everybody's an asshole to each other.
Character in this movie is racist. They all make racist comments.
And it made me laugh that two white writers wrote this movie, because I was like, you guys should feel a little ashamed of yourself, unless the writing was changed as it was going on. I don't know if that's what the truth is here, but
whatever. I mean, it's both sides. Like, everybody is racist.
I'm sorry I'm so late. Had that urban youth meeting. It ran over. We're trying to set up that after-school gun instructional program for kids. And I'm sorry, Dick Ambrose, NRA?
Reverend Billy Bob Baker, Southern Baptist Brotherhood.
Well, it's just great to meet you, Reverend. Mm-hmm. Hey, listen, we're setting up this rally upstate next week, and I was just wondering if there was some way we could attract, some upstanding African Americans like yourself. You got any advice for us?
Well, Dick, perhaps you can tell your members to stop buying country music, stop burning crosses, and stop shooting black folks. Hear me? Now, if that don't work, try cookout with free food. preferably fried.
Dick, would you mind terribly if we rescheduled?
Everyone's making shots at each other, you know?
Yeah, it's like, but it's so often and so
unnecessary.
It feels very, it's like.
It's always unnecessary.
It's
but,
always unnecessary.
I mean, what I'm saying is like for the scene, it's like you have to add that in the dialogue because it's off-putting.
It's off-putting, and it made me feel. I don't know. I was angry. I was just like, will you guys stop already? Like, this is stupid. Like, get away from it now.
Yeah.
Be a team. Instead,
Yeah.
it's like, no, this is going to be played for laughs for a while. And I'm like, not once in my, this is not funny. It's awful. Like,
Yeah.
it's unfunny to the point where I just like, I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
watching
it was kind of like when they tried to make the tech guy the nerdy tech guy. They tried to make him hip. I'm like, no.
Oh, there's a line at the end.
Like,
I was going to
dial
get to
that
that.
back.
Yeah, there's so much of it because Toby is instantly racist toward Darius, or who is now called X.
They're just calling him X because
which
that's
is
his
odd.
code name.
It's a code name that you would give somebody if everybody didn't know who you were, but everybody knows who he is.
Well, okay, so it's like the 00 program in James Bond.
Yeah, but he keeps saying to everybody, "I'm Bond, James Bond."
True.
So he's not like, "I'm X."
I mean, no, he doesn't really want to say his name. He doesn't. That's not a thing that comes up. But it seems like Toby is calling him X for whatever reason. He doesn't tell him to stop.
The agent's supposed to be called Triple X or whatever. I don't. This is a plot line I don't get because it seems like even in the first movie, it seems like they're Task Force X, kind of like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're going to be like, they're getting these high profile crazy people to do crazy missions. And they are going to put their lives on the line. And you don't really feel like they're friends.
Right, and they say,
And
well, they
then
say
they
it in
are.
the beginning. They say in the beginning of the original Vin Diesel one that we get people who are expendable and good at their job.
Yeah, and then Vin Diesel was just like he's like a member of Jackass in that first one.
He can do everything. He can do the motocross.
But you get what I'm saying? Like the guy's in Jackass, and he's willing to do crazy things for fun. But that necessarily doesn't mean agent. But once he becomes an agent, it's like now they're friends. And now he's like, oh, I'm a part of the agency. I will be a part of the agency forever.
Yeah.
So now they do that with Ice Cube as well. And Ice Cube at first is kind of like, no, I'm in charge. And then they're like, you know what? Okay. Mm-hmm. But the reason he says it too is because, again, Toby has to be racist toward him and say, hey, you work for me. Tell him I'm in charge of you. You know, and he's like, no, I'm in charge of you. And then they're like, yeah, you are. Samuel Jackson's just like straight up, you are, whatever you want.
Yeah, because they need him.
Yeah, they need him, but to the point, it just feels so weird. It does. Because Ice Cube all he wants is a burger. And I said the first thing, he goes,
wait, can I say it? Can I say it?
Say what?
Sam Jackson says, okay, what's next? Oh, well, what's next is what every man who just got out of prison wants.
And I said, what did I say? I said a burger. And then it was.
He is eating a burger.
I know what a guy's thinking. Come on.
I mean, come on. I thought he was going to be like, let me get some action.
To be completely honest, it looked like a really good chicken sandwich between two biscuits. And I was like, damn, that does look good.
Yeah, that wasn't a burger.
It wasn't
I don't
a burger.
know what that is, but it looked really good.
It looked like it had some like honey on it. I don't know what was on there, and I was like, damn, it does look good. But I do also love that he asked for not one, but 2 milkshakes.
And 2 sets of fries.
2 sets of fries. He knows. This guy knows. I know he's a dipper. He doesn't want to say it, but he's a dipper.
Oh, man, I love dipping.
Whatever. First things first. I've been on the inside a long time.
And I need what every man needs when he's coming off a lockdown. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, baby. Who's your daddy?
You sure we got the right guy?
Hey, buddy. More fries and another shake.
Got it.
I wish I had some fries right now.
Oh,
some hot
geez.
sauce.
Well, so he the mission starts here. Now it turns out our plot line is okay. First of all, well, let's just say this: our president shows up in the movie, the president of the United States, and Joe's saying, "This is the worst actor."
I mean, okay, I don't mean to insult him by saying he's the worst actor, but his line delivery is pretty rotten. I mean, it just sounds really corny coming out of his mouth. It doesn't sound like he's delivering the lines, like, using the right tone. It's weird. It's just weird. But, I mean, they picked, like, a very generic actor to play the president.
Yeah, and then this is the craziest part of it, though. They stand him next to a legendary actor who can just... He's a bad guy with his face instantly.
Oh, he's the bad guy.
So Willem Dafoe shows up as the Secretary of Defense, and he's next to this actor. And so I feel bad for this actor because he's standing next to this guy.
Are you familiar with the word treason?
You're a Jefferson man.
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots.
And tyrants. That's the end of the quote.
I will do whatever it takes to keep this nation safe and strong. Compassion, understanding. What world are you living in?
Get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Willem Dafoe is weird because he's an actor who, for some odd reason, around this time was just being put into sequels as villains. He was also the villain in Speed 2. And it's just so weird and beneath him.
Oh my God, I
he's
forgot
an actor
about Speed 2.
Yeah, of course. He's an actor that's been in so many great things, and to be just like, yeah, do this villain role feels very beneath him at this time. But I guess he wasn't like...
He's good at it, though.
He is so good at it. I guess it's an easy paycheck for him, too.
Yeah.
He also, I will say that he is underacting in this movie. He just seems like he's just getting on with it. Like, there's not
I
much
felt
to
that
do.
too. Like, he's just trying to go through the motions so he can collect his paycheck.
Yeah, if you watch Speed 2, he's going crazy in that movie. There's like a bunch of weird stuff with leeches.
I don't recall that.
It's an odd film, and at least there you can see like, oh, he's going for the wackiness.
Yeah.
Here, he's just like, all right. Now, look, there's no shock to this movie because when you see he is playing the Secretary of Defense, you can't help but go, he's the bad guy.
Right.
So I guess the plot is like, he tells the president that the base was raided and all of their agents were killed, and they have their agents looking into it. So I guess is it the FBI that Scott Speedman's working for?
I think he's with the CIA.
Okay, all right. So the CIA, they go and investigate, and he's like, our men are on the scene to see how this happened, and they were attacked on American soil. So like, we have to find out who's doing this. So we have the best men on it. So Scott Speedman is the head of this group who's investigating. Now, for some reason, when he sees all the dead bodies, he assumes that the people who escaped, which is Toby and Samuel Jackson, he's like, there's only two people who could have escaped. So I think that the movie's trying to pose the idea that they think whoever got away were the killers. Mm-hmm. Now, there are giant, like, groundhog holes all punched into the earth.
I don't think Toby's doing that.
I don't think... well, no, he could,
I mean, he
actually.
could. He's like a genius.
Yeah, he's insane. The fact that those holes were all punched in, and we're talking about 6 of them so agents can jump down in those holes, I don't think the guy who's already in the base would kill people by making these holes first.
Right, but can we also talk about like the 5 dead people that they found in the horse stable? So do you remember that? There's like a whole bunch of dead people that worked on the ranch.
That's the opening. It was like showing the setup of the agents.
They're saying they're saying that Toby did all of this, but that he could have done all of this. No, come on.
It's a weird plot point. You think that Scott Speedman would automatically like, whoever escaped, we have to find so we can find out who the bad guys were and who's chasing them. Maybe they went dark because they're hiding, but it seems more like they're trying to find them because they're bad guys. In fact, they find out X or Darius was broken out of jail, and they have for some reason Samuel Jackson was allowing himself to be videotaped talking to him.
Well, yeah, they couldn't put the audio on because it's attorney-client privilege.
Sure, yeah.
But usually not that I'm privy to this whole thing, but I'm almost 100% sure that when attorneys meet with their clients, they're in a room that's not videotaped.
Yes, because you could read lips.
Yes. So
it seemed strange
it
that
was
happened.
strange, but whatever. I mean, if that's what we're questioning right now.
Well, I mean, when he finds that's all out, he's like, oh, yeah, now I know that this guy's working. He just broke out someone out of jail. They got to be bad guys. And it's also this guy that he worked with, that they were on a unit together of Navy SEALs. The plot is baffling. It is strange.
And it seems like Ice Cube is like completely connected to everyone in this movie. Like somehow he's connected to Sam. Somehow he's connected to Willem.
Yes, and okay, I have a thought about this too, and I don't understand because what happens in the plot. Would he have been broken out of jail anyway to fit the plot?
I would think so, unless Sam was trying to get him out legitimately to help the government agency, but Sam was on the run as well.
Well, no, because later on the plot is all about their unit. So he would have been a part of that anyways. It's very baffling. I don't know. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, it's confusing.
It's so strange. It's like, wow, how are these all connected? And they're all connected. Well, as they go along, I guess his first plan is to go find his friends, and he goes, we're going to go to the safest part of town. I got the safest place we can go to. So he brings them to the middle of like,
it looks like an abandoned town.
Yeah.
But it's like a chop shop.
I mean, and of course, Toby's the one to point out, like, this is the most safe part of town.
Part of town?
You know, like, whatever. But of course, this amazing building they go to is actually a chop shop run by Exhibit.
Yeah.
Right? And
can we talk about this building? It's freaking gorgeous.
The outside is awesome.
Yeah.
Once the doors slide open, it's like gutted into a warehouse. There's no way that inside is in this building.
No.
This actually looks our previous episode of Bones. It's like they took the building from Bones and they put some fake stuff on it. You
Bones.
know? Yeah. So when they go inside this chop shop, and he's looking for who used to run this chop shop, because now Exhibit is running it.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that she is gone she's moved up the ladder, and she has a more sophisticated location that is more in the richer part of town.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Toby has to point out again, this is my speed, you know? Oh God.
No, what did he say? No, now we're talking, this is the safer part of town or some.
Oh, something about blending in. Now it's your turn to blend in. I was like, God, jeez.
Like, this is so.
Why is this happening?
Terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, come on. Like, we didn't need it at all. Like, I can see if they had like their like little friendly banter. You know, like they were kind of like a little buddy, but didn't like each other at the same time. Like, banter. But there was none of that going on. Like, you know how in like buddy cop movies they insult each other, but they end up being friends.
Yes.
That kind of thing. That wasn't happening here. Toby was just being a racist idiot.
Yeah, it doesn't ever feel good.
It
their
doesn't.
relationship. They should be like, James Bond kind of cares about Q.
Right.
This relationship is not that. It's toxic.
But I mean, honestly, I don't think Ice Cube really cares about anybody.
No, and he says it about a bunch of times to Toby too.
Yeah, he's like, I care about myself. I am on my own side.
Yeah, at one point he says Toby's using some binoculars, and he's like, Ice Cube's like, give me them. So can you say please? Can you say? And he says, can I please have those binoculars before I stick my foot up down your throat or whatever it is?
I believe the quote is, can I please use those binoculars before I kick your teeth in?
That's right. And you can see that when it's really hard to like even try to quote Ice Cube without doing the eyebrow.
Oh my God. I love Ice Cube. I love how expressionistic his face always is.
Yeah.
He always looks pissed off, but then when he beams that smile, I mean, it changes everything. It changes everything. He has the prettiest smile. So, and he doesn't really always smile. So when he does, you're like, wow.
Yeah, no.
He looks like a different person.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he can go evil real quick. It's one of my favorite. I think there's like a GIF out there that everybody uses all the time of him when he's like smiling and all of a sudden he goes real evil. I think he was on like Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
And they actually turned the lights down on him when he did it.
Yeah.
I love that. But when he goes and sees his friend, who turns out, I guess, to be his lover, they haven't seen each other in over 9 years, of course. And she says, well, you look older. And I was like, no, he does not look older. This man does not age as well.
He's part of the Android Club.
Yeah, honestly, I mean,
like Rob Lowe and Sam Jackson.
His kid now looks like him. Like, I mean, they look like the same. Like, they don't look.
Oh my God, his son.
Yeah.
Who played him in Straight Outta Compton? Literally, like
he just morphed into his brother.
I swear, they just split. They split. Like, and you know,
it's so
they're the
funny.
same person. It's crazy how they look exactly the same. They have the same face. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, and like I love that this woman's telling him that. Like I was like, no, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess he needs some information. He needs a place to hang out and hide with Toby, because Samuel Jackson's going to randomly go to his house. Now, is that a good idea? That Samuel Jackson's going to go to his house?
No.
He thinks he can sneak to his house and get in there. Of course, Willem Dafoe's waiting for him.
Why does he think for 2 seconds that they wouldn't have planted bombs or something in there? Like, your house is the place they're definitely going to be like you know, staking out.
Yeah. And this is also weird, too, because Samuel Jackson's kind of like easily taken out here. This guy just holds him down and it just has a gun to his head, and it works. And they, for some odd reason, tell us that he's dead because they blow up the house when he's knocked out on the floor.
Willem Dafoe tells the goon, make it look like an accident. So he blows up the house like there was a gas leak.
Okay, so this scene is for nobody but us.
Right.
And I don't really know why it was even for us, because I said to you, rule number 1 of a movie fan, if you don't see the incident, it didn't happen.
Right. So, yeah, if someone dies in a movie when they don't show you the death, it's probably highly likely that that person is still alive and they're going to be in the big reveal later on. Like, ooh, we didn't know.
Yeah. But I question, why is it even going to be a thing? Who knows? I don't know. And you were like, but he was knocked on the floor. I said, Joe, just know this is a movie, and at the end of the day, something's the matter with it.
And it's Sam Jackson, so he usually survives these kinds of things.
That's true, too. And I've seen him fake his death before in Winter Soldier.
I mean, unless he's in Deep Blue Sea, and then he's got problems. But
it is still one of the best scenes ever filmed. Because I remember when I saw that scene, it blew my mind in the theater. I was dying laughing. And I guess now Darius and Toby and his friend are kind of on their own. So he starts trying to find and like investigate what's going on, because he doesn't know it's Willem Dafoe.
No, but he has an idea that he's some kind of like, you know, a bad motherfucker, because he was served with him or had something to do with him when he served in the Navy SEALs. And he does not like him at all. So he already has bad vibes, and he just knows that this is just a ruthless fucker.
Yeah.
So he already has that inkling.
Yeah, and I think he's piecing it together that it has something to do with his old unit of Navy SEALs in the first place, which is also kind of strange. Well, he finds out that there's a woman named Charlie. He needs to go and get information from. I don't really know how that came about. It doesn't really matter because it's so thin, the plot. But he goes to her, and he knows all this stuff about her because she's apparently the daughter of somebody she says anyways, like the daughter of one of the senators. And so he goes to her, and he pretends to be like a preacher, and he tells, like, I don't know if it's her date, I hope not, but another
some
aide,
Poindexter guy,
another aide to the White House, and it virtually just
this is the most racist scene, the most racist scene in the movie, and that is on every actor in this scene.
It's like, if they can make an awkward scene between a white person and a black person, it's like very it's just ridiculous.
Reverend, I'll
call me.
I'll call you about that.
Well, he basically talks her into helping him, this Charlie girl. She says, you have to get a suit, and you're going to go to this, like, I guess this big dinner with all the politicians and all this stuff. And it's like this head I don't know, he's a diplomat of some sort. He is at this thing. Well, he dresses like a waiter, and he scopes out the place. And he finds out that he thinks it is Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
he starts
sees him.
figuring out.
He's like, oh,
shit. There's something going on with him.
Uh-huh.
So he actually gets he fights some people like in a couple of scenes, right? Like, oh, and by the way, we forgot to mention there's an entire scene that he gets information and he has to jump in a speedboat. And he has to drive a speedboat, and he does somehow. The guy's like, Toby's in the van, in the truck, and he's like, you got to get to me. How are you going to get to me? I'm on the bridge. And he jumps a speedboat in the air, crashes it on top of a bridge, makes a car flip over and blow up.
This is no
and
less...
he just walks in slow motion to the car, and Toby's like, whoa.
This is no less than 600 plus feet in the air that he...
Yeah.
Like, what? How are you doing this? This is literally Fast and the Furious level shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that's it. This is where we start, right here with the absurdity. It's utter absurdity.
Well, from the helicopter jump to this, we're like, oh, we're in for it.
I mean, I was totally at the helicopter jump. I was like, okay, I can handle this level. This level, I can handle. But the speedboat literally magically flying through the air like Aladdin's carpet. Okay, I cannot. I couldn't. I was like, all right, I don't know how much of this I could take because this is absurd.
Like Toby says to him at one point, like, you know, the last Triple X could ride motorcycles, surf, he could do all these things. What can you do? And then he's like, well, I don't like to put my life on danger. I like to put your life in danger.
That's right. He says that. I was like, okay, well, you quite literally put your life in danger, Ice Cube, in every scene of this movie.
Every shot.
Every scene of this movie, your life is in mortal danger.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, he just wants to be an asshole for no reason. It's like, okay, I want to show you how tough I am. It is unnecessary.
It is. And of course, there's like a second romantic setup here because the girl Charlie brings him back to her house apparently, and it says, oh, she's a daughter of a senator, that's why she has money or whatever. She's also working in the government. So she brings him home, and they kind of set up that they're going to have sex, but he goes and takes a shower, and he does the joke from the first movie where like, the things I'm going to do for my country. But I think here he says something along the lines of the things I'm not going to do for my country.
Like, meaning she walked out of the room, so that was not going to be solidified. They were not going to seal that deal.
I'm next. This is how bad this is. She says, so I'm right down the hall if you need anything. And he goes, anything? And she says, yeah, anything. And he goes, okay, how about a vanilla shake and some fries? And then she walks out of the room smiling like she still wants sex after that line. And then he goes and takes a shower, and then he gets out of the shower. And that's when he said that line, by the way. But he gets out of the shower, and he notices, first off, there's a weird noise, like someone's in the air vent. But that doesn't really play into the scene. I don't know what the hell's going on there. But he figures out that weird noise means something's happening.
But can we talk about the random gun that's laying in the hallway?
There's a random gun on the floor right outside the door. And then when he walks into the bedroom asking where Charlie is, like out loud, and there's no people working in this huge place.
There's nobody
no
working
maid,
there. There's
butlers
no
or anything,
nothing.
maids, nothing. He walks into the room and sees that huge diplomat that they had that party for is dead on the floor. He was shot in the head. So he realizes at this point Charlie had set him up.
Yep.
And all the cops show up. Now, when the cops show up, Scott Speedman from the CIA shows up as well. And he talks all the cops into letting him go in unarmed. Now, he doesn't even know what's in here. He doesn't know what's happening. But he walks in unarmed to talk to Ice Cube. And I'm like,
what
they
if
don't
he
know
shoots
each
you?
other.
Yeah, he doesn't know him from nothing.
Yeah.
He could just be like, oh, you know what? I'm in fear of my life. I'm going to freaking kill you.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem like anybody cares. You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna jump out of a building. I'm gonna get myself on fire. I'm gonna drive speedboats 600 feet in the air. I mean, nobody cares.
Yeah. And he kind of tells him There's a whole bunch of things he's working on. He's being set up. There's a dead body. This isn't my gun. I was set up from this person.
Yeah, but he picks it up and puts all his fingerprints on it,
He
which
does
I thought
pick
was
it up instantly.
funny.
Yeah, it bothered me really bad.
I'm like, wait a minute, wait, hold on. Like you were like a Navy SEAL, and you don't know any better. Which I'm guessing maybe he was kind of scared because he's like, wait, she's not answering me. I hear a weird noise. What's happening? And I can get his first instinct is to protect himself. So, but it's just weird. There was a random gun laying like right outside his door. That was weird. So it's like they set him up on purpose to put his fingerprints on that gun, and he fell for it. But none of that even matters.
It doesn't matter because he kind of like blows up the place. He talks to Scott Speedman, and Scott Speedman and him like I think they're supposed to be setting up like a connection here,
Right.
but it doesn't feel like one ever really gets established well enough. And he's able to escape by faking an explosion with the microwave and taking someone's suit, like their armored gear, and like sneaking out in the armored gear, which is like, cliche of these things.
Yep.
And he gets away, and he's going to go after Willem Dafoe and try to figure out what's going on. But it really comes down to he goes and finds out that Charlie is actually in league with Willem Dafoe, and they have kidnapped all of the Navy SEALs that he was in a squad with. I don't know if that's the word, but whatever.
Unit?
In a unit with.
Mm-hmm. I like squad.
Whatever.
Squad goals.
They got squad goals. Yeah, they were in a unit with, and they're all held captive on an aircraft carrier or a battleship of some sort. And they have tanks. They're building tanks on the aircraft carrier or this battleship or whatever. They're building them on the inside of it. They're making these special tanks, and all of these guys are actually people that were in Willem Dafoe's unit. That people worked under him that he trusts. They're all military of some sort, and they're the ones wearing these Foot Clan outfits.
Yeah,
and
you know what they look like?
for him.
They all look like Noir from The Boys.
Okay, Noir is good. I
Yeah.
was saying Vigilante, but yeah.
Yeah,
Black
Noir.
Noir,
Yeah.
So they're all working for him, and they have the whole squad or the unit of the Navy SEALs in these cages, and Samuel Jackson's alive. And then they're like, "Oh, this is all this plan." And instead of freeing them and having them help, Samuel Jackson's like, "Run away!" And the girl, Charlie, she's like hits the alarm and signals that he is there on the ship. And Samuel Jackson says, "You should have killed her. You should have killed that bitch."
You should have killed that bitch.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why Ice Cube didn't kill her.
Yeah, that's a thing in this movie. Yeah.
I mean, he just like slaps her around and that's it. I'm like, she's a freaking villain. Kill her. Like, nothing good is going to come out of this when she wakes up. And guess what? She hits the alarm and all hell breaks loose. This is about the time in the movie where I start getting really pissed off. Because I'm like, all right, I think I've reached my... But you know what? I haven't. Because the shit that happens after this scene just gets more bonkers than anything I have seen in a bit.
In this scene right here where he like hijacks a tank on the top of the aircraft carrier and then they shoots the tank with the slingshot one tank into another tank to blow them up, then jump off the aircraft carrier, land in the water, get shot at, multiple bullets just skimming right by him.
You can see the hundreds of bullets skimming past his head under the water. I was like, this is the biggest cliche in movies. I hate it.
Yeah, one, the water's so clear.
Yes.
Two, bullets are just perfectly missing him all around him.
Okay, at least they could make it slightly realistic where he gets, pinched in the arm or something.
And that's the thing with these movies, and I was talking about with Vin Diesel heavily, is this idea that no one can ever get hurt. I don't like it. I hate it.
I can't stand that.
Yeah, it's just not fun.
It comes back to John McClane getting fucked up and Die Hard,
Yeah,
It's
which
like,
is the gold standard. Rambo and John McClane, like, being messed up. They're going through things.
Yeah, like, why can't you continue on? Like, do these actors all have that clause where they can't get hurt?
It's some weird thing in the 2000s where every character has to be, like, untouchable to be a cool guy. And it's not. It does not work for me.
If you want to go back to Ice Cube's movie Friday, He does take a lot of shots from Debo. He gets hurt. He does get hurt.
Do you feel good about this?
I feel good about this.
That's an action film?
And he stands up and punches that guy and beats his ass. But he gets hurt. He does. Yeah, that's what I got to say. We can probably come across a couple more where they get hurt.
I'm sure, but I mean, you just used a comedy to
I'm just saying.
link up to an action.
It doesn't matter.
Franchises.
I'm just saying. Ice Cube has been messed up in that movie. He got messed up. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm none of this makes any difference at all. What I'm saying, I'm just making a statement. He did get messed up once.
Okay.
But Vin Diesel has not gotten messed up once.
I mean, he gets messed up, but it has to be on his own accord. Like, he has to crash a car himself. No guy can win the fight. You know, that's like the rule here.
True.
It's an odd thing. It's just really strange. And even if they do get hit, it's not like it can hurt them. It's just like it's going to push them for a minute.
Yeah.
It's strange.
The Rock has that clause too.
It seems, yeah, you can see it in a lot of movies these days, and it's really getting uncomfortable. I just can't stand it. Well, here we are. He escapes, and he now has proof of the plan, and the plan turns out to be that Willem Dafoe is trying to, at the State of the Union address, they said the movie, State of the Union address, they're going to kill all of the people in line for presidency and take the presidency for Willem Dafoe to get it has to run down the line to this the Secretary of Defense.
They're willing to take out not just the president,
the
vice president, also
the House Speaker.
The House Speaker.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, this is a big plan.
Yeah, it's a big plan. They're all at the State of the Union, and he has got tanks on the street. He's going to have all of his people, the Foot Clan, all around the whole area. They're going to kill all these people, and they're going to set up Samuel Jackson and his entire unit of Navy SEALs.
As the assassins.
Which, by the way, this is what I was talking about before. In this plan, Ice Cube would have to have been one of the people because he was in that unit.
Right.
So would he have just been broken out anyway? What made Samuel Jackson pick him when it's what are the odds that they all know each other and he would have been a part of this anyways?
Yeah, he would have, because Charlie set him up as the assassin of that ambassador guy. So he was already set up as a murderer.
Yeah, he was already set up. And also, the whole idea here, we're guessing here, is that Samuel Jackson was set up to fake his own death so he could have easily snuck in and killed the president? That seems very unlikely as a plot line for what your scapegoats are.
Yeah.
And also, if you're scapegoats, how do you prove, like, oh, they're all handcuffed and like they have tape on their mouths? Like, are they going to shoot them all and say, "Oh, we caught them"? But after they killed everybody.
I don't know what the plan was there.
What is the plan? I mean, and let's face facts, Willem Dafoe has like 30 guys on his side. There's only like 6 of these people.
Right.
It's so strange.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like they're overcomplicating things. I mean, if Willem Dafoe wanted to go through with this plan, he could have just had his Black Ops do it. You know?
Exactly. And then he could have like thrown them under the bus.
I mean, there wouldn't have been any attachment. They're Black Ops. You know? Like, can they be traced back to him? No. They can't be traced back to anyone.
No, they would. I mean, somebody has to be involved and someone has to be in charge.
It just seems like an over-exaggerated plan.
Oh, it's absurd. It's insane.
But it gets more absurd.
Well, that's the thing. Like, Ice Cube has to go to Speedman because he has no one else to go to.
He doesn't.
He is like, look, I need the CIA's help. You know, this is the plans. And he actually steals an entire map of the State of the Union address and where they're all going to be stationed and how they're going to do a coup. So he says, he calls Speedman up and says, meet me in your car. So he's in his car. Now we love this because Speedman comes down and he hits his alarm button to unlock his car. So you said to me, how's it going off if he's already in the car? Wouldn't it have set it off?
So when he goes boop boop to his car and he opens the door and Ice Cube's already in there.
Yeah, so like, why wouldn't it have gone off?
Like, do you not
Or-
think of these silly things? I think of these silly things.
Yeah, no, this is a great when you pointed out and made me laugh because he does it. And I'm like, well, if he's already in the car, then he would have just locked it and set the alarm.
Right. So if Scott Speedman opened the door, the alarm would have gone off in the car.
Yeah, if he had set, if he set it while he was in there, or when Ice Cube sits up, it would have just set the alarm off.
Right. I know. I was like, okay, I shouldn't be
anyways.
thinking of these stupid things, but this is like film flub stupid crap.
And he tells Speedman the whole deal, what's going on, and Speedman's like, I have to find evidence. This isn't enough for me to believe it. And of course, it's just angers Ice Cube. He says, "Oh, I thought you were more than a suit." And we were like, "Why?" I think we both said at the same time, "Why do you think he's more than a suit? What? How do you know he's not involved in this? Why do you trust this guy?"
Right. So when he got broken out of prison, he didn't trust anyone, not even Sam Jackson.
Yes.
He didn't trust anyone.
Oh, he seems to hate Samuel Jackson.
He hates him. And so now all of a sudden he trusts this guy who works from the CIA that he's never even met in his life.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird. But when Speedman goes back in after Ice Cube leaves mad, he goes back into his agency. And of course, Willem Dafoe shows up, pretty much making it definite that something's the matter here. Because he says, I'm very invested in your hunt for him. And I want to know what he said to you in the house before it blew up. You were the last to talk to him. And he's like, he was talking about some conspiracy theory stuff. It's just crazy stuff. And Willem Dafoe's like, that sounds about right for him, He virtually is like, I am the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Painting an arrow on himself, like big neon lights flashing. And so Speedman's not stupid. He's like, okay, yeah, he is the bad guy. He showed up here because he knew you might have contacted me. So he goes, and now this is my favorite part. This guy, Speedman, has been hunting Darius, Ice Cube.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly where he's been all this time.
Yep.
He knows he's at the chop shop.
Yep.
What?
I don't.
Yeah.
The absurdity, it just keeps getting worse from here on out.
It's so absurd. And he's like, I know how to fix cars. You're not tuning that enough to the side. I know how to fix... Oh, you know how to fix trucks? I know I can trust you now. Because we're family, Joe.
Oh my God,
We're
don't.
family. And Toby is whacking out. He is making crazy weapons and stuff that never come into play in this movie.
They don't. Like, he's showing them all these gadgets that he made and
He
stuff.
made an electric glove, mittens. And he doesn't do anything with them. Unless I didn't see it. Did he use them?
No.
I don't think he does.
No. They don't. Nothing Toby does comes into play.
So
nothing.
the whole plan is... Oh, and we forgot. Like, Toby, hacked the whole CIA, the FBI. He hacked them all and got all the information he needed from Willem Dafoe to find out what was happening and how the SEALs were all involved. But it doesn't matter. Speedman and his idea now are to go to exhibit and ask all of these people that work for him at these chop shops to now join forces with them to save the President of the United States.
Which I found pretty hysterical. How all of these people in this chop shop are criminals.
Yeah.
I mean, they're criminals.
And they're all willing to follow Exhibit into death for no reason. And only because Exhibit's like, hey, I need some things. Okay, well, I'll try to help you out with that. And then he's like, okay, all these people are willing to die for me to get those things I want.
Yes.
So everybody suit up. And now they find out that there have been weird trucks being ordered to the government, to the Secretary of Defense, of cheese trucks. And so they're like, there's something, this is definitely where he's shipping his weapons in. So they hijack one of the trucks. And these two really funny, bumbling idiots are driving the truck. And they stop him. And of course, we get another one of those lines with Toby.
Hi, I'm Agent Shavers. We'll be commandeering your truck today.
Man, we can't let nobody know a white guy hijacked us.
We'll say it was 75 black guys.
And they open up the cheese truck, and there's secret walls with the most insane amount of weaponry you've ever seen in your life. So they arm themselves to the T with these guns.
It's crazy.
And then the movie, the main ending of the plot now starts, right? So they have to go and save the day. So they all like team up to go fight these bad guys. Around the State of the Union is happening. The State of the Union address is happening. The president's walking on the floor.
It's happening at the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Where it's easy just to turn off the lights.
Yes. I mean, everything you can think happens.
You just turn off the lights while the president is giving his State of the Union address.
Oh, so much happens here that is mind-blowingly hilarious. One of the funniest parts is, first off, a tank goes after them. They're in these trucks, right? They're in these
They're so
SUVs.
nice. Yes,
they're in these
trucks are
SUVs,
so nice.
and then they're kicking ass, and they're taking down these guys. And this is a good time for Toby to say, "Let's get crunk with this music."
Moment in our history.
Nice. Get crunk, X. Come on, Steel, get crunk with us.
And Ice Cube's face, he was like, I can't even say
I can't
anything.
take
He's like,
it.
I just can't say anything.
He's like, oh my god.
He's like, I'm just going to stay quiet. And
Yeah. I'm just
he
so
literally
glad
said nothing.
that he didn't start dressing different. Because then I would have really been like, okay, this is so stupid.
I'm
now.
glad that they dressed him like that because he was a computer nerd, you know, and he looked like with the sweater
He has
vest
a blue
and like
sweater vest.
and the tie, and he just everything about him screamed computer nerd. I know that's kind of like profiling him, but I mean, if you could picture a computer nerd, that's what Toby is. He just looks like that.
Yeah.
The worst thing about it is like when they were driving and Exhibit was driving his beautiful truck, I was like, okay, so he took, let me guess, the nicest cars from the chop shop to go into battle with.
Well, they're like Escalades
why?
or something. They're not the nicest. They're not like the car that Samuel Jackson had or what he has at the end of the movie. There's some gorgeous cars.
Well, that's true, but still, I was like, oh man, come on.
Yeah. Well, they turn a corner, of course, and now a tank has rolled down like martial law has been put over the land, and they shoot a tank. Now, I mean, they're clearly on the Universal back lot at this point in time. It is a clear fake lot.
Mm-hmm.
The tank shoots down and hits one of their cars. They all jump out and everything. And this is when they are able to hijack a tank.
Welcome to the first tank jacking in history.
They strap a giant device on the floor that is so amazing that it's able to lift a tank. They wheel it under there, they turn it on, and it pushes the tank up in the air so it can't leave. And then they get on top, and for some strange reason, Ice Cube uses a Jaws of Life on the top of the tank, and we're like, what is he cutting? Because then we just see the tank open normally.
Yeah, what are you cutting? It doesn't, there's no lock on the outside.
Yeah.
You just open it.
I thought they were going to cut the tank's gun, like cannon off or something. I thought they were going to like completely dismantle this thing so they can't fire at them anymore. But no, it's even funnier. They take it hostage and they use it to shoot the Capitol building.
Now, all the lights go out. What's amazing to me in this scene is that the Secret Service, they don't exist. Like, there's nobody guarding
Well,
the
it's because
president.
it's supposed to be Willem Dafoe's people. And they're fighting those guys. They were supposed to kill him. So they're not protecting him properly, but Willem Dafoe rushes him out. But they shoot a hole from the tank into the top and jump through it. We were laughing because we're like, how did they not kill everybody by accident?
Yeah. I don't understand it. They just didn't care because it's like, okay, whoever's in the way is in the way.
Yeah.
But they jump through and so many people get shot in the scene. Like, Ice Cube comes in and starts blasting everybody. And Willem Dafoe gets away with the president.
Not before they have Samuel Jackson, his entire unit, handcuffed and taped their mouths, walking together, and they have them ready to set them up. And
so it looked like they killed the president.
Ice Cube randomly shoots into this odd thing and kills every bad guy watching them.
He's like, okay, that's why I was wondering what happened in this scene, and I needed help.
Oh, this is weird.
These Navy SEALs were taped and tied up in this scene, walking with Sam Jackson. And Ice Cube just shoots into the room randomly, and then the Navy SEALs disappear.
Well,
Where are they?
The Navy SEALs. What's funny is Willem Dafoe is able to escape with the president and his right-hand guy, leaving Charlie with the group. And again, she hits he just hits her and knocks her down, which is where Samuel Jackson mutters through under his tape, "Why don't you kill the bitch?" And then he is able to uncuff him, and you see that his friends are uncuffing and untying the rest of the group. And Samuel Jackson is able to take a gun, and then she's about to shoot one of them again, and he shoots her in the head and says, "I told you, you should have killed her." You know, and then all of a sudden, like you pointed out, all the Navy SEALs now disappear. So now, instead of the Navy SEALs teaming up with him and them taking everybody down together like a group of badasses, they just all vanish except for Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, I didn't like this because I was like, okay, wait. So I thought that it would mean something. So if they were kidnapped and they were going to be used as patsies, wouldn't they be pissed off and be like, okay, let's get this motherfucker?
Yeah.
You know, no. But the Navy SEALs just disappear out of the movie. It was so weird.
Yeah, they disappear out of the movie like they didn't even exist or weren't even important at all. Mm-mm. But now our favorite thing does happen, Joe.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, Willem Dafoe takes the president hostage with his one goon that he has. Now, I asked you this, and at the risk of sounding like a complete idiot, is there such a thing as a presidential bullet train?
Sir? Sergeant, sidearm. We'll fall back to the train.
Is there such a thing as an emergency presidential bullet train?
I can't imagine that they came. I don't even know. I know that there is a railway system that exists in this area. Although I don't remember seeing it when we were there. They might have shut it down. But I know it existed, and there's like 6 tracks under there and all that kind of stuff.
Wouldn't it be underground?
It's like, it's really odd. But
I have so many questions about this goddamn thing.
Willem Dafoe mentions that there is a secret underground bullet train.
But it's not.
To help the president escape. So they go down the Capitol. I wish we were there. It could have been like the Alamo. Where's the basement? We could have went, where's the bullet train?
There's no basement at the Alamo.
Yeah, we should have asked the tour guides. So where's the presidential bullet train come out?
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
We saw State of the Union. We know this was a thing.
Willem Dafoe told me that there's one.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe told me. And Willem Dafoe does not lie.
Get him on the phone.
He brings up his contingency plan. I love this, by the way. Because Ice Cube says to Samuel Jackson, well, what do you think he's going to do? What would his contingency plan be? And Samuel Jackson thinks for a second and goes, he's going to use the bullet train.
Cap, he's got to have a backup. What would it be?
There's a presidential bullet train 3 stories down for emergency evacuation.
That's what I would do. I would use the presidential bullet train to escape.
The presidential bullet train.
So they do have a presidential bullet train. Now, when we say presidential bullet train, we're not kidding. This isn't one seat to help the president escape.
Oh my God.
This is an entire Air Force One scenario with a full stock kitchen and a staff.
A dining car.
A dining car.
Like, they had plates in the dining car with little napkins on top. Like, wait, this is not an emergency situation. This is not like an emergency evac for the president. This is literally like a nice dining experience for him and his family.
Yes, for his family. And this is a nice little, do they have this little cab ride all the time? Why doesn't he use it all the time? But the best part is there's like 20 cars.
There's 20 cars. And but it gets better because when Ice Cube does board the train.
Oh, no. Back up. Don't get too fast.
Okay. I'll wait. But I have to talk about that scene.
Is mind-blowing.
Okay, you talk about the getting there. So so Ice Cube finds his girlfriend. I don't know her name. I wish I did. But Nona.
Layla.
Layla? Okay. So Nona Gay, is that her name?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he finds her and says, "Hey man, I need your fastest."
Lola Jackson.
He's like, "Hey man, I need your fastest car. Give me your fastest car," or whatever. So he gets this beautiful silver jobby, and he's like, "How fast can this go?" And she's like, "You tell me." And everything she says comes off as sexy. Yeah. It's amazing. So he gets in the car and he's chasing the bullet train. He's chasing the bullet train
on
in
the
this car.
tracks.
Okay, on the
that
tracks.
come out from underneath the
The
Capitol.
best goddamn thing I've seen in so long. The tires shred on this vehicle, and they become it literally becomes a train car.
It becomes a train car
on the rails, just riding the rims. Until Ice Cube comes up on the train and smashes into the back of
Back
it.
up. We got to talk about this a little bit by little bit. Now, first off, a bullet train.
A bullet train going like 350 miles
A
an hour.
bullet train goes 200 miles an hour.
My God.
Okay. So it's going 200 miles an hour. And we have facts about this too, because characters keep saying things to add to the madness.
Yes.
Because there's a train conductor who says, I can't control it anymore. It's going too fast. And so he's just shot, that guy. So now there's no one driving the bullet train. So Willem Dafoe's plan, I have no idea what it is.
No,
what
is
the
he
end
gonna
scenario of his plan is beyond me. But yes, it's going. They're saying, made it is going top speed. So it's either 200 or passing 200. Now he's in a car behind him with no traction tires. There's no tires. There's nothing to, like, it's just on, he's on the tracks like he's a car. And the CG is,
oh my God,
is terrible.
Oh, it's
it is
so bad.
It's like they filmed Ice Cube on one of those arcade video games, just going back and forth, like playing, what was that, Ride in the USA game? Remember that game? And they just filmed him, and then they slapped on a green screen around him, and it is
Forza.
he's just bouncing all around. It looks so bad. It is that early 2000 CG that just makes Jurassic Park look like God compared to it.
Gosh,
and
yeah.
it looks like something out of like one of those terrible sci-fi shark movies or something. And he's on the track, and his car is going 175 miles an hour. But for some reason, he's able to speed up and then stick his car. He actually catches to the bullet train. He's going that fast to catch up to a bullet train.
Yeah, but if you're catch up to the bullet train and then your car slams into the back of it at that speed, you would be obliterated.
It's not, yes, at that speed. But no, this movie is insane. So it gets even worse. He somehow makes the car stay steady. And he shoots a rocket at 200 miles an hour at the back of the bullet train, blowing open the bullet train's back and shooting shrapnel all over him at 200 miles per hour. And nothing kills him. It doesn't even go near him for some reason.
He has no scratch on his face.
I just keep thinking of Sean William Scott in Final Destination when they hit that piece of metal on a regular train.
Oh, yeah.
And it just cuts his head right off.
Yep.
Like, okay, he shot it at 200. By the way, he has a shot. We have to talk about his gun.
It's a shotgun.
It's not even a shotgun. It has elephant bullets, and it has those canisters like that are size of a shaving cream canister.
Yeah.
And he's putting them in, but it doesn't have like a shoulder guard for the
blowback.
For the blowback.
Yeah.
And so he keeps slapping it open and putting this huge canister into it. And I don't know where these canisters are even coming from to shoot his little bombs. But he's shooting it with one hand with no like guard or anything. I just, it's unbelievable. But he does that at 200 miles an hour and he opens it. Then is able to speed his car up into it and stay it steady for some reason. I don't even know how he does that. And he gets on the top of the car and crawls into a 200 mile an hour bullet train.
It's quite astounding.
And when he gets in, that's when his car blows away.
Like, it was like caught up in a twister.
We have to watch the whole CG nightmare of the car blowing away.
It's like flying in this circle like a twister.
What is happening, right? And so now we have to watch him fight. And now he fights like Willem Dafoe's like right-hand guy.
His goon.
In a kitchen.
Oh my God. Can I please tell it? Can I please tell it?
Go for it.
Oh my God.
This whole thing is amazing too.
This scene, first of all, now this is an emergency only bullet train, right? In case there's some kind of attack or whatever, then the president gets on here. Fine. That is what was happening. Fine. But can we talk about the fruit basket?
That's all you want to talk about? The
Fucking
bottles of
fruit
wine.
Okay, wait.
the-
So there's a fully stocked kitchen, but there's a hanging fruit basket with like bananas in it. And I'm like, wait a minute. Bananas go rotten in a day.
Yeah.
How long have these bananas been in this emergency only bullet train? Like they keep a fully stocked like selection of fruit in case, heaven forbid, the president needs to be evacuated in an emergency basis, and they always keep like fresh apples on hand. Like what is happening?
Joe, I just imagine the woman from Family Guy who the lemon pledge, you know. I imagine her job has been cleaning this thing for 15 years straight and keeping it immaculate, changing the light bulbs, all that, never being used because the emergency has never occurred. And this day is the day where she's like, oh, hail. And everything goes to hell. And she's like, I'm glad I got those apples on there. I'm glad I got those bananas in that basket.
You can literally cook a 5-course meal in this kitchen. It is ridiculous. This is not... I've never heard of anything like this in my life.
Okay, we'll talk about the fight, because now the fight is hilarious. He gets hurt, but of course it's like in a hurt where he doesn't feel normal pain like a normal human being. So when he gets a knife through his hand, he's fine.
I mean,
He's fine.
he looks a little like, he winces a little.
Ooh.
Like, oh, that happened to me.
Yeah.
But the best part is when he pulls the pipe out of the wall. Okay,
On the emergency bullet train.
The emergency bullet
the
train. The gas pipe gets pulled out of the wall. He shoots his gun at the guy, and the guy blows up.
He doesn't. He actually lights his lighter while the guy is crushing him with one of the racks for the cooking ware. Has it on top of him. And so he's underneath, and while the gas is coming out, he lights his lighter.
That's right, the lighter.
And throws it at him and says,
Hillbilly, you need to lighten up.
and it blows up inside this thing.
That whole train car exploded.
Yeah, and a fireball. We see a fireball.
Oh my
And now,
God.
the way that he is covered, his face is exposed on the floor.
Yeah.
And he is not singed at all.
Nope.
He is fine.
No.
And my
he's
favorite part of
fine.
this is he gets out after the other guy died. Instant. I mean, I don't even remember seeing his body. I think he was just disintegrated.
Yeah.
That guy. He gets out of the floor and pushes this thing off of him. When he gets up, if you look clearly, it looks like Ice Cube burns the entire side of his body. But
I think he did because his arm was on fire.
Well, he like gets it near the fire. You can for a couple seconds. I was like, okay, he
Yeah.
just burned himself. There's no doubt. But he's actually hurting his, holding his body like I'm hurt. Okay, so I want you to remember that because that goes away instantaneously
Yeah.
the moment he's out of this car. Well, the president is getting smacked around by Willem Dafoe, and at the same time, now this is our second favorite thing that happens.
Oh my God.
And this whole, well, I guess this is our fifth favorite thing that's happened so far. Samuel Jackson has a helicopter, and he flies alongside and catches up with the bullet train. Now I had to look it up. Helicopters can go extremely fast.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be legit. I don't know. But what's not legit is they make Scott Speedman into a friggin' pinata. They hang him on a rope outside of the helicopter going 200 miles an hour on a rope.
He looks like a worm on a hook.
Dangling him alongside a bullet train.
Now, what was the plan here?
The plan is that they say, if anything, because there's no driver, they can get the president and put him on the rope with him and save him.
Okay.
But now all I could think was, I'm not very smart, but when we're on the highway and we're going only 75, 80 miles per hour, if I were to throw a rope out the window with anything on it, it would automatically smack to the back of my car.
Mm-hmm.
I would think. I don't think it would just dangle alongside the car.
No.
So at 200 miles an hour, Scott Speedman should have shot up into the helicopter blades.
Yeah, I would think so.
That's all I could think.
So the plan is to hang out there and then wait for what? What did he expect?
An
Willem
opening?
Dafoe was going to
Well,
throw the president out?
He keeps trying to break the window. at 200 miles an hour. He's trying to break a window to get inside the window and save the president. Well, luckily, Ice Cube catches up to Willem Dafoe and has a fight. They do blow out the side of the car. No one is sucked out at 200 miles per hour. No one's sucked out. Everybody's fine. And you were laughing because you're thinking, Willem Dafoe is winning against Ice Cube. That's kind of funny. He's like beating Ice Cube up.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell.
I guess the only way is because he's extremely hurt. He's stabbed and he got blown up a minute ago and he was crushed by something.
I mean, I get it, but still, even in this movie, which is 20 years ago or whatever, he's still an older man. I mean, and he's skinny and small, and I mean, Ice Cube is beefy. He beefed up, and he was a bigger dude than Willem Dafoe. He would have beat his ass.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I still have a problem with the situation with Willem Dafoe. Like, you capped the driver. Why would you... How are you going to get out of this?
I don't know. I think at this point he was like, well, I'm going to die. I might as well take out the president with me.
But that just defeats the whole plan that you had.
Well, the plan already was gone when they saved all the people that were the patsies. They killed all of his guys.
But I mean, if you're going to do something like this, like your plan, why didn't you just do it outright instead of just fucking around about it?
I agree. Did the others get killed? Did they kill any of the people they were trying to set out to kill?
No.
The vice president, all this
If they did, they never made mention of it.
Yeah, they never showed any of that. Oh, okay, so now Scott Speedman is able to hook, line, and sinker the president at 200 miles an hour. And they are sucked out the window. We laughed so hard, we went, wee! They just got sucked out.
There's no way that they would not have been shredded in those blades.
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous thing. Like, that was more ridiculous than anything I saw in Triple X, the first one.
This is
beyond.
My mouth.
The whole last...
I did not breathe for this entire thing because I was in so much shock.
The last half hour of this movie. The last half hour of this movie had
I don't know how I didn't pass away during the
reeling.
ending of this movie by not breathing. Because I was just like, I cannot believe what I'm witnessing.
It was beyond.
So now what's even better is they left. They saved the president, so they're wheeling him in. Now, it's just up. Well, Ice Cube's got to figure out what to do. So he jumps out. Now, and I got to point this out. I don't know where they are. They're on a bridge that looks like they're going to Hogwarts. They're up in the air. Where is this in the country?
I have no idea.
I've been to
They're
Washington.
supposed to be in D.C., and I don't recall ever seeing anything like this anywhere.
Where is this? I can't even fathom where this could have been. But they're so far up on this bridge.
Yeah, that bridge was
maybe
easily
it's the presidential bullet train's drive. Like it's a special building,
and then it goes into the Bat Cave. That's where the train
could have been.
The train docks there.
I don't know where they're going. They're not going to the White House. Are they escaping to another country? I don't even know. Are they going to Hogwarts? I don't even know. They could have used a port key. Well, anyways, he jumped out of it. He jumped out of the moving 200-mile-an-hour train, and while free falling, does a perfect swan dive. He remembers, I have my crazy gun that is just randomly still on my person. I can fill it with one of the grenades while falling, shoots the water with one of his grenades, and makes enough ripple of the water to make him land safely. But at the same time, Samuel Jackson, because he's an asshole, says, this is the time I'm going to get revenge on Willem Dafoe. He shoots missiles at the damn train and blows it off the tracks. And the thing falls right at Ice Cube as he's diving. And the thing is coming down right behind him and should have crushed him instantly. Mm-hmm. But he swims away perfectly.
Yep. It's the most absurd thing
with
I've
the
ever
hurt
seen.
arm and the hurt body.
Yes. Yep.
And jumping from what looks like 50...
It's probably like 1,500 feet.
It's
got to be.
It's so high. It's got to be 10 stories.
Yeah. It was absurd. This is probably one of the most absurd things I've seen. The last half hour of this movie was the most absurd shit I have seen in a while.
This made the movie Bullet Train look tame in insanity.
Yep.
I can't even believe it. Well, he's fine. He survived. He gets back to his girl. They have a little kiss. The president wards Scott Speedman on the news, and wants to give him a medal too, but he didn't show up. We don't know where he is. And he goes off alone.
I mean, here's the thing that bothers me about this. Okay, fuck the medal. You don't need that medal. But, I mean, you literally saved the president's life.
Yeah.
You and the vice president, for sure.
And he got a pardon.
And he got a pardon. I would be milking the shit out of this. I'd be like, you need to pay me. Like, I mean, he doesn't have anything. He was in jail for 9 years. What does he have? You know?
Yeah.
I'd be like, you can give me a couple bucks now. I mean, I literally saved your life. So
I mean, I guess they're saying that but he doesn't seem like he wants to be an X.
No,
triple X.
He takes off.
He takes off. But it does seem like he's definitely going to be working for the program. At least I would think. But we find out at the end that Scott Speedman is now working with Samuel Jackson in the program. We see him, Toby, all walking, and Scott Speedman says, now that I'm working with you guys, I have some ideas about the next X. And Toby's like, don't I get to choose it finally? And Samuel Jackson says, no, I choose all the X's, and I have a really new, fresh face in my mind. And it's over. And you think maybe they're going to set up who the next X would be, like kind of do a tease of who the hell he's talking about or something like that, of a possibility?
No.
But we don't.
But we know Vin Diesel comes back for the third one.
Yeah, but that we'll talk. Well, I don't know much about that movie because we haven't watched that one. We watched these two movies instead.
Oh Lord!
But it takes. I think it comes out way later. I think if I had to guess, I think it's 2011.
Oh shit! Well, what's that one called? Triple X Vin Diesel's back.
The Return of Xander Cage. Yes.
No, it's not.
It is.
Stop. I was just joking. Seriously?
No. Yeah. Seriously.
Oh my God! It is. Oh, Donnie Yen.
I know. I told you, everybody who's not in the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think Tony Jaa's in it too.
Oh, I love Donnie Yen. Oh, Ruby Rose too. Tony Jaa.
I told you.
Oh, God damn it. We're gonna have to watch this, you know. Tony Collette. Get out. I just can't. All right, we're gonna have to watch this one too. We're already in it. We're in it up to our knees. We gotta watch it.
All right, so the question is, now that we just ranted through this crazy movie, what do we give it out of 10 stars?
Okay, well, this one was completely absurd. And I gave Triple X a 4. I'm giving this a 3. This is beyond ridiculous. It was beyond.
I think I agree with you. I feel like if this is not on par as stupid as the first one was, it's either that or it's worse. I think I might have to give it a 4 or
a 3. I'm giving it a 3.
Maybe
this
it is
worse
a
than
3.
the other one. This was worse. I mean, the absurdity. It was just beyond anything that I've seen in a while. The CG, the terrible, like, just, ugh. The plot was stupid. I mean, I can't.
All right. So here's the deal. If this isn't the worst movie you've ever seen, because we're both saying it's not, it's bad, but it's not the worst movie we've ever seen, what is? So on our list, I'm going to ask you this. Is this worse or better than, let me pick something here. I mean, this is worse than Artemis Fowl, right?
Oh my God, this is 20 times worse than Artemis Fowl. Pick a different one.
I don't want to move up too far.
This was a piece of crap.
All right, is this worse or better than Tank Girl?
This is worse than Tank Girl.
Wow, you're really moving it up.
Yeah, this is worse than Tank Girl.
So after Tank Girl, which we have at 22, 21 we have Beach Balls. I would watch this again over Beach Balls.
I would watch this again over Beach Balls.
All right, so this is going to end up right with Tank Girl from last week.
But I gave Tank Girl a 3 as well. It's I don't know. It's better than Beach Balls.
So this is our number 22. This is better.
This is better, yeah.
This is our 22. Our number 22 on our list of the worst of all the movies we've seen on Talking Trash so far. So what's next?
Okay, so what's next is my segment of Why We Can't Have Nice Things, where I read out 2 extremes of internet reviews, a 1-star and a 10-star review, as proof that people ruin the rating system and prove that no matter what, there's always going to be someone who fucks it up for the rest of us. And I can tell you right now that this person with this number 1 has got me reeling.
Uh-oh.
These words that this person is using, okay. First of all, these are not my words. This is the words of Hedgie NYC, calling you out because this is terrible. 1 out of 10. Short, fat, and pudgy Navy SEAL? Question mark.
Oh, wow.
It gets worse. Ready? What retard thought it would make sense to hire a short, fat, pudgy guy with absolutely no muscle and no athletic ability to play a badass Navy SEAL? Ice Cube looks like a guy who spends most of his life on the couch watching TV and eating Cheetos. This movie was horrible in almost every respect, but the casting of Ice Cube was perhaps the biggest mistake. He absolutely does not look the part. He can't play an action character or anyone who needs some sort of physical prowess. On top of it, his acting is just laughable. I couldn't help laughing at how dumb he looked every time he tried to make a tough guy face. He looked like such a loser. His lines seem so forced. It's just painful to watch that goofball on TV. I can picture some studio boss thinking, hey, don't these kids nowadays like rap music? Let's get one of those black rap singers and put him in this movie. That'll make us look cool. If you watch this movie, you will get dumber. Trust me. It happened to me, and I'm trying to get back to normal now.
Wow.
That is the worst.
Wow, talk about trigger warnings. Jesus.
Yeah. And I
That's
apologize for reading that one, but I just had to point out the freaking hate and anger and, I mean, just terribleness of this person.
Yeah.
I can't even. A 1 out of 10, and to say those terrible things, like, you're a fucker.
I don't even see it because I actually think he looks like he's in good shape. And he said he really tried hard, and I don't think he looks bad.
No, I think he looks like he's in good shape. And also, I'm sorry, but how dare you, first of all, use those words? That's terrible, mean, hateful, and not true.
Yeah.
About Ice Cube. I think that he can play an action character just fine. And I can go on for days about this asshole. But anyway, that's the 1 out of 10. And it just made me mad, obviously. Yeah. Anyway, let's do the 10 out of 10. This is Triple X has to save the day against arch enemy, the U.S. government.
Okay.
Hot on the heels of O'Shea Jackson's last epic, the ultimate actioneer that is Torque, comes Triple X, the next level. This time, Triple X has to have more attitude and be more dangerous, hence the casting of O'Shea Jackson, Ice Cube to most of the world. But not Ice Cube to him. Okay. Without going into detail, I don't want to spoil this film for anyone. This film is a cinematic masterpiece. With Ice Cube using his full range of acting skills, he manages to evoke emotions not felt since the opening sequence of Star Wars: A New Hope. What we have is a roller coaster of a film with action, romance, comedy, and more action. Mr. Cube is supported by talent such as Sam Jackson, Willem Dafoe, and Exhibit, so no expense was spared by director Lee Tamahori. With a script written by Simon Kinberg, who went on to write scripts for smaller films such as Jumper and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we have a complex yet enjoyable plot to follow. All in all, I cannot recommend this movie enough. No words that I write can describe what a masterpiece this film is. This will surely go down in history as a classic, along such greats as Shawshank and Godfather and All About the Benjamins. Damn. Please watch and enjoy. So,
oh man,
I can't even pronounce this name on this person, so I'm not going to try. But come on now.
That's crazy.
Come on now.
A 10.
Come on.
I mean, I feel like we might be hating it a little more than maybe we should, but it is a stupid film.
It's a stupid film.
It's a stupid one. It's these kinds of action movies are my least favorite things on the earth. I don't. Well, I said that usually the worst kind of movie is the ones that are bad comedies. Because when a comedy's not successful at making you laugh, then it is like just sitting there in silence, and it is kind of painful. So those movies are really bad. But God, do I hate an action movie that just makes me feel like a dumb bastard for watching it.
Yes.
And that's what's happening a lot with action movies. They're not working for me anymore. And it's sad because I'm always waiting for something fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And these kind of movies make me kind of just really relish a good. I guess in that sense, it helps me because it makes me want to enjoy a good action movie more. So when one comes along, I'm like, I appreciate it more. So it kind of helps me.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many dumb ones now that it makes it feels like too far, and you know, there's not enough good ones anymore. These are the kind of movies I feel like I keep getting every time we watch an action movie. So, hey, you know, someone can get a 10 out of it. Someone can enjoy it that much. Then, you know what? Good for them.
Okay. Yeah.
I wish I could, because I see too many of these damn things.
I mean, yeah, we've been watching. We're not on a good streak with action movies, I don't think.
Well, we saw Kill, which was like a Bollywood film that wasn't bad with action.
Oh, that's true.
I think that was the big one last. And of course, Deadpool, Wolverine.
You know, for some reason when I think action films, I don't think Deadpool, but that's weird because I should 100%.
It had some of the best action, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great one. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, why I can't have nice things. I just can't. This fucking asshole. Like, it just made me mad. Like, I was like, I had a lot of ones to choose from, but I had to choose that one just to prove how freaking stupid people are.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like when, I mean, I know we're picking it apart because of the logic and all that, and it's just like, the script is problematic. It's weird. It's not great. But when a person just goes out, like, I hate this movie because I just don't like this person, and I'm going to go after everything about this person, that sucks.
I mean, let me tell you something. If this movie is bad, I could tell you it's not Ice Cube's fault. Okay, there's a lot of people involved in making this movie. Yes, his scenes were a little over the top, but he had a director and a writer and all these people behind it that you can blame first. He was just doing his job. So leave him alone.
And he tried his hardest. This was his first foray into a action star film.
Yeah.
Like, he's the main star in an action movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
I just, if I could see this person face to face, be like, you know what, fucker? How dare you? Just keep your trap shut.
All right. So that is our last of our rap stars that were rappers trying to make it big. It's over for the month.
Oh, no.
We're moving into a new month, which will be October.
Oh, my gosh.
So this will be returning into our horror movies. And I don't know what we're going to watch yet. We're going to figure that out. So thank you for listening. As always, hit us up on social media and Instagram at Just Another Movie Night, and Joe at The Crafty Misfit. And we'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, any ideas that you want to do for a month, or any movies that you want us to watch. I'm always down for that. And also hit us up on your thoughts on these movies that we're watching. And I would love to hear if you're on that 1 or the 10-star State of the Union thought process. I'd love to hear about it. As always, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Get crunk, X. Come on, Steel, get crunk with us.
I'm gonna really miss you. What?